clicked a whole bunch of buttons, and so she figured that's all there was to it. Well, lucky for her, the agent took one look at the pre-approval with the very high rate that was quoted and the points that were being charged, and they recommended that she call us at Westport Mortgage. Now, when I first talked to her, I realized, oh boy, she got a lot of work to do. We got to lower her debt, improve her credit. We're going to really work hard on this one. Her plan was to pay off all her debt when her house sold, but that money wasn't coming for a while. So we had her jump through some hoops. We got it done. The bottom line is the agent was thrilled. The loan closed. The woman ended up with low debt, low interest rate, low mortgage insurance, and she's thrilled. So, you know, the moral of the story there is that the borrowers think they're done. They think they're ready. They think, hey, I went online. Look, here's a piece of paper from, you know, Better This or Quick That. What do you mean? I'm ready. Now, one more thing about this, about pre-approvals, and that is over the weekend, Fannie released a brand new software for underwriting. This is the software that we use to approve borrowers. So Desktop Underwriting 11 version came out, and guess what? They tightened up their restrictions. They really got brutal. Now, what does that mean? That means that if you are carting around a borrower or a potential buyer who's looking at houses with you, but their pre-approval is older than yesterday, you may want to make sure that they're still pre-approved. Because if their credit is a little bit blemished, or if the down payment isn't quite as high, or their debt to income is a little bit difficult, that borrower may not actually approve with the exact same lender that they were with yesterday. Now, if you really want to do it right, here's what you do. You have them call us, because any one of us here at Westport Mortgage will give you a nice, fresh look, brand new, and we'll tell you exactly how they are in terms of their pre-approval. So here we go, Westport Mortgage. We've been partnering with Keller Williams since 2007, and happy Monday.
Thank you so much, Paul. We appreciate you as always. And even though you like Star Wars, I still love you.
Star Trek.
Yeah, well, I like that too. So I love you either way.
Mouth breather.
Yeah, indeed. I'm better now. All right, so a couple of quick announcements before we get into today's content. And I do want to let you know that we'll be out fast today, because we do know that we've asked an hour of you later on today, either at 1 or 4 o'clock. So let's start right there, right? So as you know, today, 1 or 4 o'clock, we have 2 sessions to make available to you to outline the 2021 compensation models and how they look and what your choices are and all that great stuff. So we're really excited to bring you that information later today at either 1 or 4 o'clock. You can expect 45 to 60 minutes on that, depending on questions, right? We do have, we have a foundation to build for you. We have the models to go through, and then we have questions that we will open it up to. So do expect 45 minutes on the short side, an hour on the long side, depending on your questions. So I'm really excited about that. Do plan on one of those 2 times. A reminder, on March 23rd, we do have our next investor seminar, which will be live via Zoom. It will not be live in person. And there's just been some confusion around that, because I think I said live in what I sent out. It is live. It's as live as what we're doing this morning, right? So it's live on Zoom. So there will be interaction. We will have the chat box open. We will have Q&A so we can answer things directly. I've had a couple of questions around who that's really valid for. For those of you who have never been through that or sent clients through that seminar, it really is Investment 101. It's for people who are looking to buy that first investment property and how you do that, or people who have one property who are kind of maybe looking to start moving in a direction of multiples. If you have people who are big flippers and what out there, that they may not get a whole lot from the seminar, because I don't talk about flips really at all. I talk about this from the perspective of what I have personally accomplished in my investing career, which is that 0 to 50 rental units in a 6-year or so period of time. If you have people who are far more advanced than that, I welcome them on the call. However, they may be contributing to the learning instead of doing some of the learning themselves. So I hope that gives you an idea of kind of who this is geared towards. And it's also geared towards any of you who need to understand how to talk about investment properties with your clients, right? So during this whole conversation, you'll hear the way I'm talking about it and be able to kind of model that to speak to your own investor clients with similar language. Make sense? All righty. And if you have any questions, ultimately, yes, somebody just put Bogdan's name in the chat. Talk to Bogdan because he's a seminar groupie. He's been to a whole bunch of them. Ryan Kundrat has been to a whole bunch of them as well. I think Donna Gilbert has been to a whole bunch of them. So we do have a couple of investment seminar groupies that you can speak to and find out why they just keep traveling around the country, coming to tour after tour after tour. All righty, that is March 23rd for you at 7 o'clock. Two other quick things for you. Listings. Hey, I know that there's a whole bunch of you out there who are taking a bunch of listings. I keep getting notifications that somebody last week took 6 new listings. Somebody last week took 9 new listings. Somebody last week took 3 new listings. So I just want to make sure that we are dispelling the myth this morning that listings are tough to find, because what you're proving is that they may well be tough and yet you're just choosing to go find them anyway. So recognize that you have a whole bunch of opportunities to get out there and find new listings. Don't decide this morning or from last week that it's tough, so therefore they're not there, so I think I'll wait until it's simpler, right? They are out there for you to get. You just need to go keep turning over those stones and looking for at any place possible for those new listings. To that, don't forget that we do have an email address that you can send your coming soon or pocket listings or whatever it is you're taking, new KW listings at Gmail, new KW listings at Gmail. So do send that information off. Maria publishes that every day at around noon so that you can get new updates. I do know over the course of the last 2 weeks, 2 of you have made matches internally using that daily information about what listings may be coming and whose buyers need what and whatnot. So between the billboard on Facebook and new KW listings at Gmail, make sure that we get your information so that we can continue to make matches for your clients. Lastly, DocuSign. DocuSign, just a quickie. Remember, I sign everything last. So if you're ever curious about like what order everyone should sign in, if I'm on there as the broker, I'm always last. So when you're pushing things out via DocuSign, you can order things 1, 2, 3, always put me last. Because if you put everybody at the same time, what happens is the documents come to me, I see that they're not signed by everybody else, and so I pull back from it and I wait for it to be sent again. And then oftentimes you're wondering why I'm not signing, and it's because it's out for somebody else to sign, and then you kind of move down my email, and it's difficult to go back to. So now I have to wait until DocuSign resends the thing. So order it correctly and always put me last, so that as soon as everyone else signs, when it comes to me, I can just click and get my signature on there for you. That will save us some back and forth and some delays, if that makes sense to you. All righty. So 2 quick things for you today before we head off into our exciting week. Number 1, it's March the 15th, which means it's that time of year again where summer is coming and beach bodies become very important or whatever. But hey, last year, right around this time, I decided that I wanted to lose a few pounds after the winter. And that time for me is here yet again. And so what I find is that it is always far easier for me to accomplish my goal if I do it with you. And so I am opening up, like I did last year, a 6-week, I'm doing 5 pounds in 6 weeks to adjust and maneuver and rid and whatever, right? And so if anybody else wants to jump on that bandwagon for the next 6 weeks, just text or email me that you're in. I will put you on the Google spreadsheet. And what we do is every Monday morning, we just report, right? Some of you have done that before with me. Some of you have accomplished goals with me before. And I know that none of us are very competitive. So part of the reason it works is because we all like to win. So give me somebody to battle against, because I'd like to make sure I get my 5 pounds gone in the next 6 weeks. So if you're interested, shoot me that text or email or put it in the chat, and I'll make sure that you're on the spreadsheet. And again, it's just a Monday morning reporting and then a kind of a support system to get us all to where we want to go. Because no one's more gorgeous than the people I'm looking at. And imagine if we were all 5 pounds lighter. Oh my goodness, we'd feel so much better. All righty. So this morning, as we head out into our day, I wanted to just give you a quick reminder about all of our health protocols, right? And here's why. As most of you know, the governor of the state of Connecticut, as of this Friday, is pretty much removing any and all restrictions in terms of capacity, right? Capacity for retail, for office space, for restaurants, for lots of different things. That doesn't mean that the social distancing protocols are going away, but the capacity protocols are going away, which I find a little bit odd. I think personally, I think it's a smidge early, and yet, you know what, nobody asked me my opinion. So therefore, I just wanted to communicate to you what would happen in our spaces, right? And so in our spaces, regardless of what the governor is doing on Friday, we are going to stay the course and continue at a 50% capacity number, right, for at least the next 6 weeks, right, till that May the 1st number. And then at May the 1st, we'll review it again and see what the story is. Guys, here's what's real. The only real space that we're running into some issues with right now is our space in Newtown, and because it's a smaller space, right? And there's a whole bunch of you that use that space. And so we're working on what that 50% actually looks like in Newtown. In all of our other spaces, we're okay. The spaces are large enough that 50% is plenty big. So don't feel like you can't or shouldn't use the office. I know that many of you are beginning to come back to the office more regularly, and I love to see that. As some of you get vaccinated, as some of you feel better about coming back, we love to see you. And yet at the same time, we just want to have those reminders that we will stay at 50% capacity. We will require masks in the offices when you enter the office until you get into your office or your space. And if you're coming to the office and are in a public space, the mask stays on, right? None of those things are changing, right? So we want to make sure that we continue to we don't want to relax things too soon and put anybody at risk. We want to continue to provide a safe and an exciting work environment for each of you who choose to be in the spaces, and those continuing those protocols that have served us really well for a year only makes sense to us, right? So we're going to let the governors govern. We're also going to ask that we continue the protocols that we have put in place very successfully for the past 12 months, at least for another 6 weeks or so. And again, at May the 1st, we'll take a look. My guess is that the masking protocols will continue well into the summer until we know that there's a majority of us who choose to be vaccinated are vaccinated and create a different environment. So that's really the information I wanted to share with you this morning, because I've had a couple of questions about space and about how what we're doing with what the governor's talking about. So I want to just remind you of that. And then the last thing I would offer to you is PPP, right? There is a round of PPP out for anyone who was in business last year and the year before, right? So if you meet some criteria around having a reduction in your income based on the business that you ran 2019 to 2020, you may be eligible for another round or your first round of PPP funds. If you have some questions around that, do go into our YouTube channel and dive into some of the things that we've produced for you on PPP, either round 1 or round 2. And as always, if you have questions or are struggling with application processes, I'm happy to help you obtain some of those funds if they are coming your way. Guys, that's what I have for you this morning. Nice and fast and quick. We want to just get you in and out. Remember, 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock today. We're really excited to see you and go through our new models. Have an awesome day. Take care. I love you.